What's up, y'all? Thanks for stopping by the obviously Lee Authentic channel. My name's Leah, that's spelled L-E-A and not L-E-A-H. So we're going to be talking about part one of the reunion of Real Housewives of New Jersey. All I'm going to say is Jennifer ate and left no crumbs, y'all. I was so here for Jennifer. I was here for her. Oh my God, I was here for her. And I'm like, Jennifer's not like my favorite on the show. I really don't have no favorites on the show. But like, she ate. That's all I can say. She ate. And I was here for it, y'all. So, you know what? Let's talk about these outfits. And then we're going to get into this review and then keep it going. So I'm going to go from the ones that I thought were the best to the worst. For the best, honestly, everybody's outfit was very to me. I really feel like when it's the reunion, you're supposed to come with like your Sunday's best. Like, I'm expecting you to look like the women off of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And even the women on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Like, they kind of like bring it, like the way Kenya, Portia, and Cynthia looked. They all look like Barbies. Like, Kenya looked like a Barbie doll. She looked beautiful. And I'm like, where is this? I was going to say New York. Where is this? New Jersey? But, like, okay, so my best would be Jennifer. Her outfit is very plain, but it's very clean. And then, like, her makeup looks good. The earrings look really pretty. But it's like an outfit that you could see Jennifer wearing, like, in her everyday life. So, but she did look very pretty. Teresa would be the second. I didn't like her shoulder pads, but all in all, I thought the dress was pretty. I also thought her makeup was beautiful as well. Like, it was really, like, nice. It wasn't that raccoon stuff that she be doing. Then there's Jackie. I didn't like her makeup. I did not like her, it was too dark. And, like, the dress is pretty, but, like, it looked cheap on TV. Like, in pictures, the dress looked really nice. I just wish that the, like, sash part was cut off at her knees, that it wasn't all the way on the floor. But Jackie doesn't have, like, body, you know? And I feel like somebody that has body, it would have hit. But, like, her hair looks nice. I just don't like her makeup. Like, it's too dark. I really feel like if she had a light beat, she would have really, like, looked a lot better, in my opinion. Then there's Dolores. Dolores is pretty, but Dolores, I don't know if Dolores missed the memo on the, like, color choice. I don't know if they got choices to wear, like, white and champagne. But, like, Dolores' dress is champagne and everybody else has on white. So it just looks weird to me that she has on champagne and everybody else has on white. But she looks pretty. My two worst dress was Margaret and Melissa. Melissa was my second worst dress because I don't like this outfit. Her body looks amazing. Her makeup looks good. And her hair looks great. But I do not like this whole see-through, like, dress thing. I didn't like it on LaToya from Real Housewives of, Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't like it on Melissa. And I also don't like the fact that her underwear is black. I feel like she should have had on white underwear. It's a no for me. It's a no for me, dog. And then Margaret. Margaret's dress made her look matronly. Margaret is not matronly. And, like, her boobs look nice, but, like, the dress is very, like, poofy in the front. I wish they would have cupped it to her bust, made it tighter, so, like, it would have, I don't know, it's just not hidden. And then that little brooch right there, we stopped doing the little circle brooches back in, like, 2010. And it's now 2020. That's 11 years old. Why do you have that on, ma'am? It won't it. But her makeup looks pretty, and I love her hair. Her hair looks nice. It was a no for me. And Andy looked like Andy. He looked nice. So let's get into this. We gonna go person by person, and then we gonna wrap it all up. You know what? We might even go do person by person. Yeah, let's do person by person. So we hit up with Teresa. Teresa got her new man. She's happy. You know, life is pretty good for her. You got Dolores. Dolores got a new vajayjay. They cut her labia, and she's happy. Then you have Jackie. Jackie seems to be doing all right. She's straight. They brought up her cutting her kids' hair. Okay. Jen is happy. She showed off that 9 carat yellow diamond. That diamond is pretty. And then she was happy about, you know, making it to her 18th year anniversary. And then, you know, being happy about her kids and stuff like that. Then Melissa is Melissa. And then Margaret's house finally is done. I don't like it, but it fits her personality. And I'm a firm believer that your household should be a reflection of you. And it also should be like your safe space. So if that is her safe space and she likes it like that, that's good. I thought the den area was nice. I really did like the green couch. I just thought it was too much going on in there. And then her kitchen is an eyesore to me. I'm just thinking about walking in there, like turning on the lights in the sun and then the lights, like that's a headache. That's a headache waiting to happen. But we get into it. Honestly, the beef, like, so we can talk about Jackie and Teresa. So they kind of touched upon the beef, you know, with the whole rumor starting and Jackie saying that, like, being upset, which we understand. But then Teresa saying Jackie be throwing daggers. And I'm like, Teresa, you throw daggers. Teresa is still a little peeved about the whole Gia doing coke in the bathroom analogy. So she's still kind of like, And then Jackie's like, well, you was talking about my husband. Which my thing is like, to me, you can't conflate the two. And when I say that, I'm like, yes, it was wrong for Teresa to spread the rumor at Evan's party. But my thing was like, your husband is a grown adult. Gia's only like 19 and she's someone's child. Like, you would feel some type of way if Teresa said something disparaging about your children because they're much younger than Gia and her kids. But I understand that Jackie didn't have no other way to combat her because at the time, Teresa didn't have a man. So, like, a better analogy could have been, like, what if I said, like, Louis was cheating, but there was no Louis when they had this argument. So, I get why she went for Gia, but Jackie also has to understand is, like, you know how Teresa feels about her children, so she gonna always be on your ass because you brought up her kids. Like, it is what it is, ma'am. Like, you shouldn't... I get it, like, you shouldn't have went with that analogy. You should have tried a different one, but you brought up her kids, but I get, like, you was trying to hit her in her throat like she hit you in your throat with Evan. But they didn't want to get into it, so, like, Andy, like, tabled their conversation. Then we have, let's go with Teresa, Melissa, Dolores, and Joe. So Joe comes out, Melissa's Joe, and they start bringing up the whole thing about his chauvinistic, misogynistic ways and things of that nature. And like he apologized to Dolores for saying that she was broken. Dolores wasn't really like, she said she wasn't hurt, but I think she was hurt. She just didn't want to give him that satisfaction that he hurt her. But like she accepted his apology. With Melissa, they started to bring up how, like, basically they used to be conjoined at the hip. And now that fame has come into the play, they're all, like, changing. And Andy asked Teresa, like, do you think fame will change people? And Teresa said fame changes everyone. So, like, I guess that was her way of being like, yeah, but, like, we've all changed. And then we end up finding out that, like, I guess, like, Joe is saying he isn't as bad as he was being perceived or portrayed, like, on the episodes. But, like, Joe has been the same way since we met him almost, like, 10 years ago. So it's, like, you really haven't, like, changed. You're still, like, you have this really, like, frat boy, chauvinistic old Italian energy. So it's kind of like you haven't changed, but I do understand him trying to add context to like what everybody's been saying. But because he was like, I'm not saying she can't do anything, but it was like, we used to do everything together and it's weird that they don't do everything together. They even said that like Joe wasn't, Melissa was jealous. Like Melissa even was like, we're both jealous people. So in that thought, I'm like, Melissa, if you know you and your husband are both jealous people, why are you not trying to help him? I guess ease him into like your new life. But then again, to me, I just feel like I'm starting to feel like their whole thing might actually be fake. And we're going to get into like the online drama later on. But like, it's kind of weird to me, y'all. Like, I feel like their whole thing was kind of fake now. But I feel like with them playing fake, it might have started like some new drama. Because Joe is really like trying to defend himself against like Dolores and Margaret. And then they also brought up about Teresa's ex-husband. And, you know, the whole fight where, what's her name? Melissa threw the plate and while they were at Dolores's and Frank's, like, beach house. And Joe was like, that was like my first time blowing up. And then they actually asked Gia, like when she was on Watch What Happens Live, and Gia felt like it's disrespectful to like her and her siblings. And I actually agree with her. And Joe was like, everybody wants to make me the bad guy. And I was like, I don't think she's trying to make you be the bad guy. But at the end of the day, that is still her father and they have a relationship. It would be different if the girls were estranged from their dad, but they're not. They call him, they talk to him on FaceTime, they visit him in Italy. So you saying like he's the reason why their grandma and their granddad like subsequently died does not make them feel good about themselves, nor does it make them look at you any better, because it's like my uncle's talking cash money-ish about my daddy, and I ain't about to do that. Plus, they're older. It's different when they're younger, but they're older. Like, I think Gia's, like I said, might be 19 or 20. And then the other kids, I think the youngest of her daughters are like 14. So they know about it. And then Melissa chimes in and says, like, because Joe Giudice says something, too, about... he said something to the blogs, too. And Melissa brought up Antonia. And Antonia's 14. So it's like all of your kids can read what y'all are saying about each other. So that doesn't make them feel any better about either one of y'all. So like I was with Andy when he was like, can we let this go? And they were like, yeah. And like Teresa said she was going to talk to Joe to see if he would like apologize to her brother. So yeah. And like we've been talking about, and then also they brought up about No being passed away. I guess around the time they filmed the reunion, it had been at least a year. And, like, you know, it was sad. Like, Joe was crying. Teresa was crying. Melissa really didn't shed a tear. But, like, it was sad. Like, I got, like, when Teresa said, she was like, I went to jail. Then Joe went to jail. Then my mom passed away. Then my dad passed away. And she was just, like, it just kept coming and coming and coming. And she was like, Lord, I just need a break. And Andy was like, maybe Louis is your break. So I'm hoping, like, the relationship is very positive for Teresa, that with Louis, and that is her break, because that is a lot. Even though like y'all did do something wrong with like messing with the money and stuff, but like that is a lot to go through. You went to jail for a year. Your husband went to jail for like, I think he went to jail for 5 years, then got deported. Then y'all are like getting a divorce. Then your mom passes away. I think her mom died while she was in jail, and then her dad dies, and it's just like that's a lot. That is a lot to deal with. And then you're still a mom trying to raise 4 children, like, by yourself. That's a lot to deal with. But I do hope they stop bringing up, like, each other. Because after a while, it's just, like, we not trying to rehash old stuff. Because when it was, like, the Gorgas versus the Giudices, I stopped watching Real Housewives because I was tired of them. And then when they brung in Kathy and them, I was over them, too. So, like, yeah. So let's get into what we really want to talk about. What I really want to talk about. Melissa versus Melissa Margaret versus Jennifer. Jennifer and Jackie. Jennifer was holding her own, and I give her claps because all 3 of them was coming for her, and she was still holding on. And I said, "You hold on, Jennifer, hold on." But we're going to get into it. Let's get into it. So basically, someone asked, Andy asked the question, like, about Jen's mom. And, like, Jen is like, yeah, we're not really speaking, but I think that's the best. And then everyone brought up about how, like, well, the way you speak to your mom is so, like, disrespectful. And to me, it wasn't disrespectful because Jennifer is speaking to her mom as her mom being an adult. Because Jennifer is an adult with 5 kids and her mom is an adult with several kids. So she has the right to speak to her mom the same way her mom gives her the same, the same energy. And Dolores even confirmed it that like her mom is hard on her, like hard on Jennifer. So it's like, I get why people are like, well, Jennifer's supporting patriarchy. She's so male-centered. But it's like, we've seen this whole, like, to me, we've seen this whole season. And Jennifer even told her daughter she was afraid of her mom. And she saw her dad in a different way. So in my opinion, it's like, if I'm afraid of you and we just now getting to this point where we can speak to each other, but my dad always made me feel special and made me feel loved. Of course, I'm going to take my dad's side. I'm not going to take my side of the parent that made me feel like trash and I was fearful of. Now that she's older, she can understand, like, you know, because it is messed up that her mom got married at 16. Her daddy was 26. They're in two different arenas. She's still, like, she's a freshman or a sophomore in college, and he is a grown man in college. No, Jennifer's mom is a freshman or a sophomore in high school at 16 years old, and your daddy is a full, that's graduate school level of being 26 in college. They're in two different playing fields. And like we were informed that he took her from Turkey to America, so she was alone. So I get her mom being angry. And I was happy that Bill was like, he may not have beat her, but he neglected her. And that's true. I still think it's stupid that her mom is like embarrassed when it's like, you publicly have said you hate your husband. So your daughter's just trying to find a happy medium where everybody can chill and be cool. But then Margaret and like Jackie and Melissa want to chime in and be like, the way you talk to your mother is disrespectful. And then Jen came back and was like, well, you talk to your husband disrespectful. Like, you make him, like, you disrespect him. And, like, you treat him like a punk. And then Dolores had to be like, nah, Jen. Nah. And I was like, see, Dolores is good for Jen. Because Dolores kind of keeps Jen like, girl, you don't go off the cliff. You, like, at the cusp, but, like, back away a little bit. So then they keep going. And then this is when I was like, okay, Margaret, you getting on my nerves. Because the whole comment about, like, Jen was defending herself. That's why I was like, Jen 8, because Jen was really speaking, like, she was standing up for herself. She was like, when she met Bill was a struggling medical resident. She was like, she didn't get a nanny until her 4th child. So she was at home with 3 kids. And then when she had her 4th one, she was like, yo, like, I need help. So she was like, I was a mom. Like, I was doing stuff. And then Margaret was like, well, I wasn't throwing digs at stay-at-home moms. But I'm like, you were. But your friend Jackie, we don't know what the hell Jackie do. Like, Jackie may have a degree, but she seems to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't even know what Jackie does. But then, this is when I had to give it to Teresa, because I cackled. Because I guess in Jennifer's bio, I don't follow Jennifer, but in her bio on, like, Instagram or something, it says, wife of a plastic surgeon. And Margaret was like, we don't do no dick swinging over here. And then Teresa was like, well, maybe she's happy that she's married to a plastic surgeon. And Jennifer's like, I am. And Teresa was like, well, would you say, you're not going around saying you happy to be married to a plumber? I scream. Dolores' eyes got bug-eyed, like, ooh. And then Jackie was like, and I was like, ooh. I was like, Teresa. And then Margaret was like, that was not nice. I know what you mean, Teresa. And I was like, well, I said, okay. I said, she got you right there. And then Melissa want to chime in and be like, you know, you were coming for me the whole entire season. Because someone said, like, Jennifer is envious of Melissa. And Jennifer is not envious of Melissa. Jennifer has solid money from a man that is a plastic surgeon. Like, the man just dropped, I know, some stacks on a 9-carat diamond. She's been married to that man for 18 years, and she's happy. With Melissa, sweetheart, we know Joe's money is funny. I have seen Joe still, like, on his page, still pictures of other contractors and try to plagiarize, like, that's his work. So, like, girl, we know what you got in all on the up and up. Like, low-key, you better hope Joe didn't do that PPE loan fraud crap and ain't about to get locked up like his sister did. But then, like, I was like, girl, where your notes? Because Melissa didn't bring out them notes she said she had. Because Melissa was like, she brung notes. And I was like, where are the notes, Melissa? Where are the notes, Melissa? So then Margaret and, so then this is like, didn't I tell y'all? I told y'all I thought Margaret was the one that started that rumor. Because when Margaret's Joe was like, you know, he heard rumblings at guys' night. So I was with it. Because then stupid Jackie got on my nerves talking about, are you threatening me? Are you threatening me, Jen? And I was like, Jackie, shut up and just be a mannequin and sit there. Because the girl did not threaten you. But, like, she was, like, arguing back and forth. But, like, Margaret got mad because Jen basically was like, Margaret's the one who started the rumor. And Dolores smiled. So I was like, ooh, Dolores. Is she telling the truth? Because I think Dolores was like, yeah, she did. And Teresa was, like, sitting there like, And then Melissa tried to, like, be like, no. Like, oh. Because, like, Jackie was like, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And then Melissa also, like, then Jim was, like, airing out Margaret again. Because Jim was like, you know, when the whole Michelle saying that Joe and Melissa didn't pay her and her husband, Margaret said some disparaging things about Joe because she was like, you know, my husband's a contractor. You know, we heard things about, like, him not paying stuff. So Melissa was like, I don't believe that. And Jim was like, hand to the Bible. I told Teresa the day, like, that night that what you said. And Teresa was like, yes, she did tell me. And Margaret was like, you're lying. You're lying. And I was like, Margaret, I believe Margaret is on some shady-ish. But she's trying her best to stick with Jackie and Melissa. But the issue is like, I like when Jim was like, y'all come at me and I retaliate. Like, don't be mad at me for coming at your throat when you coming for me. And I was like, you can't be mad at that. Yes, like, it's wrong because, you know, like I said in some of my videos, people don't have that barometer inside them that's like, okay, if someone punches me, I throw a punch back. Or it's like, if someone punches me, I shoot them in the face. Some people don't have that. Some people's next gut reaction is to, like, hit you in your throat. Like, stab you. And that's just what Jennifer does. And, like, I cackled when Jennifer was, like, arguing with Margaret. And the thing is like, Margaret thinks she's better than Jennifer. Because Margaret specifically said, don't play games with me that you can't compete in. And I'm like, Margaret, she can compete. Because she keeps coming back at you. Granted, she may not always have it, but she checked you with that whole Merriam-Webster thing. When she was like, you called, because, like, Melissa was saying that, Melissa was like, you do be trying to slut-shame Margaret. And, like, Jim was like, well, she be telling us her business. And I kind of was like, yeah, granted with the whole Me Too, like, comment where, Margaret, that was disrespectful. Like, that's different. But Margaret, since Margaret has gotten on this, like, on the scene of Real Housewives of New Jersey, she has boasted about being a mistress. She has boasted about sleeping around with different men. So she can say sis is slutty. Like, she can if she wants to, if that's what you have presented to her. And even Jim was like, I wasn't talking about that. You said you slept with other men, and Margaret confirmed. She was like, yeah, he became my boy. Like, another man she slept with became her boyfriend. So she was like, what are we talking about? And I was with Jim. What are we talking about, ma'am? Like, you do be out here like that. But that whole Merriam-Webster thing was hilarious. Effing hilarious. When she was like to Jackie, come on, Merriam-Webster, where you at? Because they were arguing about the whole concubine thing. And Jim let it be known. Jim was like, I'm not a concubine. I'm a wife. A concubine is a woman of lesser value, and I'm none of that. But you are, because you've been a mistress. I said, let them know, Jim. Let them know. But yeah, y'all, I'm excited for the part 2 because the husbands come out. It's going to be Jackie versus Teresa. I hope Jennifer still is giving me what I need. But yeah, y'all, remember to be bravely authentic. That is it. That is all. And yeah, I hope you come back. Tell me whose outfit you thought was bomb, whose outfit you was like, eh. And let me know what was your favorite part of the reunion. Okay? All right. Deuces.